I'm gonna keep the
All right,
comments
there.
up.
Yeah, here we go, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Pastrami Nation. We are the meat of pop culture. My name is Nolan Smith. I'm the editor here, and welcome to our podcast. Sorry we had to postpone last week, but we are back, and we want to talk about the best of 2021.
Yep.
But in order to do that, we have to have a podcast crew. So let me introduce our crew real quick. We have fellow co-founder of Pastrami Nation, Jason Smith.
Hi, everybody.
We have our entertainment editor at Pastrami Nation, Mr. Kevin Hoskinson.
Hey, everyone.
And then we have, once again, we have our guest, Brandon Trodway from the Cinemas Podcast joining us. Welcome,
I'm
sir.
back. Hey, it
Welcome.
feels so good to be back. Thank you so much for having me
Love
back.
having you.
We appreciate you being here. So we do have a lot to talk about today, a lot. But first, I want to remind everybody that you can win free Apollo Burger food right here. So if you're in the high desert, Apollo Burger is like the best burger place out here, and they have a sandwich named the Pastrami Nation, which Jason
I
was
did
a
not
part
know
of
this.
creating.
Yeah.
Yes,
sounds
and
amazing.
it's made of grilled cheeses for the buns,
Each bun is a grilled
pastrami,
cheese sandwich.
chili, right? And it's this mammoth, like
Damn.
almost like a food challenge sandwich, and they named it after us, and we're so grateful for that. So we are giving away a combo for that, so you get fries and that massive pastrami nation sandwich. And all you have to do, we're going to do this old school, just leave a comment. That's all. Drop a comment by
Way
Sunday.
to do it.
We're going to give you till 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Sunday. I'll post up a graphic saying who won, and then we'll get you that combo. So once
Enough
again, thank you
pastrami
to
to feed a
Apollo
nation.
Burger. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
you got it. You have to try this. I know Kevin almost did. Next time
I
Kevin's out
almost
here,
did.
he's
Yeah.
going to. He
Yeah.
has to. So all you got to do is drop that comment, be a part of the conversation. We want to know, just like we're going to talk about, we want to know what you thought was best of 2021. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We got some people saying hello. We have my wife. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
And then we have Pablo and Sarah Mendoza. Hello there.
There you go.
And let's go ahead and I'm gonna jump to the other topic real quick because it's only one list, and then we're going to jump into the top movies, and you're gonna have 4 lists. You're gonna have one for each of us. So first, let's talk about best of 2021 action
Yes.
figures. So this is something that me and Jason were like, this is our wheelhouse. We grew up off of action figures. We have just such a huge appreciation for the sculptors,
Because we didn't
for
have a
the
lot
companies.
of them growing up. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Right. So this, when we got to, working adults, we're like, hey, we can do this. We can buy whatever we want. So here we go with what we want to see, what we saw in the 2021 best of list. I'm going to try a share screen. As many of you know, that doesn't work all the time, but I'm going to try it.
work.
I practiced it. I think it's going to work. All right. So we're going to go through the list, and can everybody see my chart?
yes.
Yep.
All right. So this is our best of 2021 action figures. So I'm going to start at number 5 down there. And Jason, can you take number 5?
Number 5 is the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ground Chuck and Dirtbag 2-pack. I mean,
Yeah, those guys are cool.
yeah, those guys are awesome. Like, I remember I had the original one as a kid, the original Ground Chuck, and I believe my brother had Dirtbag, which is the mole character. Well, as we know, NECA likes to blow stuff like out of the water,
Oh, yeah.
And they gave us this new 2-pack. It's basically like you got another Bebop and Rocksteady, which was, I remember that episode when Shredder sent Bebop and Rocksteady to find some animals.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
gonna
I
make,
remember
like,
that.
some new mutants, and it ended up being a bull and a mole. And NECA has not let us down yet. The action features on these guys, it's so over the top. I mean, the Dirtbag figure comes in, he separates, and he comes with like a ground drilled base, so it looks like he's coming out of the ground. Like, how cool is that for an action feature?
It is cool.
And just all the millions of accessories they come with, like just alternate hands galore, weapons. What I mean, out of all the NECA stuff that has come out for Ninja Turtles, I think this one took it for me, just because of the nostalgia value of it. I remember going to Toys R Us, grabbing those figures back in the 90s, whatever, when we were kids, and it's like, wow, they released a 2-pack of those guys, and I remember I was so excited for it. It was a brand new mutant that we got.
That's cool. Did you guys see the who made the? Did you guys see the Cobra Kai Ninja Turtle sets that they had?
From
Yeah,
Playmates? Yeah.
Was that Playmates?
that was
Yeah.
Playmates. Yeah,
Yeah, those ones actually look pretty cool too.
yeah. Playmates
Well,
does a good Ninja Turtle, but I think NECA
they
still.
do. Well, because Playmates did the original, right? So Playmates they retain that license, but NECA, like Jason was saying, they blow
NECA knocks
everything
it
out
out
of
of
the
the park.
water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They do. So I know that was a tough pick right there because they released so many great Ninja Turtle products this year. But there's your number 5. Jason, can you take number 4, and then I'll take the next 2?
Number 4, we got the McFarlane Toys Violator. Just a mammoth beast of a figure. What is this guy, like 13 inches tall, fully
That
articulated?
is insane.
Yeah,
Weighs a
and
ton.
Violator. I mean, if you guys remember back, the first Violator we got in the 90s was that bendy figure that bent up and fit inside the actual clown body, which was cool for its time, but like you always wanted the monster version, and they've put out some decent ones, but this one just, I mean, fully articulated in that bulk, like no skinny arms there, this thing's just a monster. I remember I got this thing, I found it at Target. This guy had to weigh like at least 3 pounds. Like, that is a big figure.
Right. And it's so cool to see the return of Spawn to action figures.
And the detail on
McFarlane
it
Toys
is
just right. Because McFarlane, Jason and I have followed them since Todd Toys, and they've ramped it up every time. They got the DC license and they knocked it out the park. So bringing back Spawn, and they've released Gunslinger Spawn, Violator, Redeemer, and they're just these amazing versions of the figures that growing up we remember seeing. Like, oh, cool, a Spawn figure, and he had like a board with a nail in it.
And this
and
Violator,
now here you have, yeah.
Well, I'd like to add this Violator. I want to say is, if not the first Violator with an actual turnable pivoting head, like, remember, it was always the head was kind of just fused with the body and the mouth would always open, but this one, the head actually turns too, and it makes it that much creepier.
Right. No, it's a really good pick. And it's a hard one to figure out, with out of McFarlane, like what was really the best that they came out with. But this absolutely, it was their best product they came out with this year. I mean, their Princess Bride figures are pretty awesome too. And their Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is awesome. But okay, I'll take number 3. So number 3, it was a late addition to the year. So it's from the Four Horsemen. So the Four Horsemen toy design company. They've worked with so many companies in the past, McFarlane being one of them. And then they broke out and made their own company, and they decided to make this line called Mythic Legions. Mythic Legions is like knights and dragon warriors and really cool horses. Well, for December they did a surprise drop, and they made a Krampus figure. So
that is cool.
This figure went up for sale in the fall and shipped out in December. And this thing is so cool. It's a smaller 7-inch scale figure. Comes with so many cool accessories. The basket on the back, a really awesome box that actually folds out to make like a backdrop with the snow and whatnot, like the one you see in the picture.
That's cool.
They have put out such amazing things, and again, this was hard to figure out. Like, I want to put it in Mythic Legion, but there's so many great ones. But Krampus won hands down for our number 3.
Well, they released them as a holiday special surprise figure, and I'm so glad it was Krampus, because it could have went very wrong. Like, there could have been a big barbarian Santa Claus with like a candy cane sword.
That would have been funny though.
Yeah, I would have probably bought it anyway, but
But this is so much better than that.
Yes.
Number 2 is actually one that Jason reviewed. That photo right there is from Jason. It's the Sentinel Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse figure, distributed by Bluefin. Cool. And if you're looking for a Miles Morales figure, this is the best one on the market. It comes with interchangeable parts to where not only you swap out the head, you can put his hoodie on, you can put his shorts on, you can put his sneakers on. He comes with a hand with the graffiti, with the spray can in it. You can do so much with this guy. Sentinel is known for making more die-cast figures. So to see this one pop out, it was a real surprise. And it caught everybody by surprise, so much that you can't find it anymore. But don't worry, it is coming back. Bluefin did say they're going to be bringing it back within the next few months. So I would recommend tracking this down when it gets re-released, because Spider-Verse is just going to keep blowing up. And this is hands down the definitive Miles Morales figure. And as I said, Jason did a review on this. You're more than welcome to go onto pastramination.com and search for the review. Tons of awesome photos, him up against the Kingpin, him doing that kind of classic Spider-Man No More pose. So, yeah, it had to take our number 2. But for number 1, now, I'm going to turn this over to Jason, of course, but I think growing up, we all wanted super articulated, cool dinosaur figures.
Yeah,
And
totally.
what we got was, we got the Staction pose ones where they're just stuck, but they were cool.
They're usually like
Well-
a PVC kind of rubber, a hard rubber figure of like a T-Rex in its usual stance, or Triceratops, or the Brontosaurus with the head turned around looking back.
Mhm.
Those were what we got as dinosaurs. But I mean, there's been some articulated dinosaurs out there, but never on this level and this level of detail. Like, to me, this is like Creative Beast. They have just created basically the masterpiece version of a dinosaur figure. I mean, I got one right here. I mean, look at this guy. This is a different one. I just got this one. This is the Sinoceratops. I mean, just look at the detail on
That
this
looks
guy.
cool.
And
Does
then,
it have a battle damage like the Jurassic Park, where they
No,
that would've been
shoot
awesome
off
if
the
it did,
side?
But I mean, he makes up
That
for
would be cool.
lack of accessories. Different. Look at the articulation. Like, it just goes every like.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, you can turn him every which way. Move his legs. Like, you can make this guy sit like a dog, basically, like a dog waiting for you. Like, that's how good that articulation is. And
Right.
There's-
These are Beasts of the Mesozoic line, for, like you said, for Creative Beast Studio. David Silva, who we've had on the podcast, he is known for sculpting so many figures that we've all known and loved, like in the past, I don't know, 10 or 15 years. He did a lot of NECA work, and now we get these amazing dinosaurs. And for number 1, that's the Styracosaurus right there. And
Yeah, the
that,
one in the
again, was
picture.
a hard one.
look at that.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done in Battle Cat colors, pretty much. Like,
Right.
and to me, Styracosaurus was always more badass than Triceratops, because he had that one central big spike just going up, whereas Triceratops had the 2 horns and the 1 little horn. To me, Styracosaurus was always more awesome, and like, you were lucky if you could even find that. And they did the whole Ceratopsian line after they did the Raptors, which was basically almost pretty much every species of Triceratops type creature that ever existed, from like the well-known Triceratops and Styracosaurus, and then you get some like weird ones like this. Like, this is the Ionosaurus. I mean, look at, when's the last time you've seen a museum with like, I mean, they found pieces of fragments of these skeletons, but like, not your typical ceratopsian dinosaur. This is guy, like, they've done, and there's different ones with different heads, and it's just like, wow, like to me, it's like I'm a kid all over again, because I used to read about all the different kinds in books that there were, and David Silva
That's
basically brought them all to life with Creative Beast, and he's doing T-Rexes next. It's like, I can't wait for that.
Right. And we know that's coming soon. Dragons are coming soon, which he told us right here on the podcast.
Look at these.
So there we
I'm a
have a
kid, I'm a
ton of things to look forward to with that. But that is our number 1, Creative Beast Studios. The Styracosaurus, you can find those on
Yeah.
the Creative Beast website, but you got to check them out. You really do. As part of our brief intermission, I'm going to look at the comments really quick. Let's see what we got. We have people saying that. We had somebody say that Violator. Yeah. Somebody put best I've seen in 2021 NECA's Universal Monsters Black and White Frankenstein. Oh, I agree. Oh, that was my wife. Yeah, I completely agree. that Frankenstein is so amazing. Let's see. We have Contos. Hello, Contos. And I don't know what Contos is saying about shorts. I'm going to keep going.
He's
Let's see.
short
Rich
about
Frank
it.
didn't pick up. He is.
I think that was in
Jason-
reference to the Miles Morales figure.
Oh, whew,
Yes.
okay. Because I was like,
He said you can wear those shorts.
But they're too small. But I can try.
and then we have Jason Bean, of course. So Jason being a welcome as always. Huge supporter of us. We really appreciate it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. A really cool link. I just want to plug this really quick before we jump into the movies. There's a really cool Indiegogo campaign out right now for Nora's Saga from Allegiance Arts. It just started yesterday, and Allegiance Arts started off a small comic company on Kickstarter, and then all of a sudden they were in Walmart, like
What?
literally in
Yeah.
Walmart, which is shocking. Well, they released 3 issues of each of their books, but then distribution really got wonky, and I think COVID is to blame for a lot of it. So they launched this Indiegogo campaign to finish the story. So Nora's Saga is like a steeped in Norse mythology. I implore you to go check it out. Click the link. It's running for, I want to say, a little over a month, but this is your chance to jump onto a really cool project. So check that out when you get the chance. All right. As always, keep commenting. You can win a Paulo Burger Pastrami Nation combo. But it's time. It's time to talk about our top 5 movies of 2021. And each one of us has our own list, and I bet you they're very different. So, with Brandon being the guest today, I would like to ask him to go first. And go for it, sir. The floor is yours.
All right, so I'm going 5 down to 1, right?
Yep.
Yes.
5 down to 1.
All right. So this list was really hard to work down. If you follow me on any platform, you know I put out my 21 best movies piece on cinemas.net. I watched 82 movies that released in 2021 last year, and so trying to pick 5 of those 82
It's hard.
was rough. Trying to pick 21 for my piece that I wrote was rough. A couple movies that I just want to mention that didn't quite make the list, but I want to cheat and mention them as an honorable mention, so to speak. The Harder They Fall on Netflix is a movie that I wanted to put on this list to just talk about it. It's a Western. With an all-black cast: Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Regina King, Zazie Beetz. One of the most fun visual movies of the year. Totally caught me by surprise, and just an absolute blast. Malignant, one of my favorite movies of the year, didn't quite make my list. But gosh dang it, if that wasn't my favorite horror movie of the year.
Dude, Malignant Malignant would be my number 6.
Yeah, I think it might be mine too. A movie that I figured out about 20 minutes in. But by the end, I just didn't even care. I was having so much fun watching that thing that I was like, this movie freaking rules. And Mass. This is the one that almost was number 5. Just an absolute behemoth of an emotional roller coaster. The less you say about it, the better, but it's so good.
Yeah.
All right. So now that I'm done cheating, number 5 is not quite a, it's part a movie, part a stand-up special, but easily the thing that I watched the most in 2021. I saw it 5 times, and that's Bo Burnham Inside on Netflix. This calling this thing a stand-up special is just not doing it justice to what this is. For anyone who has not been on the internet in 2021, Inside is a special that Bo Burnham was kind of piecing together, but he decided to kind of document / perform / do the whole thing in one single room over the course of the year or pandemic. And it is incredibly funny, and it was kind of painful to watch. I mean, you watch him slowly disintegrate over the course of this film, and there's kind of this auteur thing going on where you're like, am I watching something real, or am I watching something that is acting? But it doesn't really matter because it spoke so well to what the feeling of the quarantine and pandemic felt like for so many of us, that it was just I was overcome the first time I saw it. It just blew me away. Every song is hilarious, but the thing that really tops this thing for me is Bo Burnham's direction in this thing is stellar.
Outstanding.
Which is why I feel like calling it a special is just unfair. I mean, he does everything himself. He wrote it, shot it, performed it, edited, directed, all of it. One man, one room, and it's truly astounding. If you've not seen Inside, I cannot recommend this highly enough. It could easily be number one, but because it's not a true film, I
Yeah.
had to put it number 5.
I struggled with that one too. That one was pretty close to being in my top 5, but then I was like, I'm not sure how much I could count it as a movie as much as I
Yeah.
wanted to. I
Mhm.
was tough, like not putting it in there. It was kind of on the cusp as well for me. But
Yeah, there's a song in there about turning 30, and I turned 30 during the pandemic. So I was like, geez, this is hitting close. I mean, I think Bo Burnham and I are about like a month apart. So
That's
him
crazy.
singing about
Yeah.
what it's like to turn 30, but also during a pandemic when you can't spend that with people. And he's just like, yay, is it ouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. Number 4 is probably the movie on this list that I have thought about the most since watching it. And that is Jane Campion's The Power of the Dog, also on
Heard
Netflix.
a lot about it.
If this could very well win Best Picture this year. This is going to be a big contender in a lot of categories. Not only is the story awesome and really, really good and really interesting, but it's so well directed. Like Jane Campion is amazing. She also did the piano, but it's been a long time since she made a film. So she comes out with The Power of the Dog. It's about so Benedict Cumberbatch is in this, Jesse Plemons, Kirsten Dunst, and Aaron Spit McPhee is in this as well. And it's about a cattle rancher, Benedict Cumberbatch, and his brother, Jesse Plemons, who have this cattle ranch and they're doing their thing. And just almost out of the blue, his brother marries Kirsten Dunst kind of in town. And so her and her son, played by Aaron Smith McPhee, end up moving to their cattle ranch and start living on the ranch. And Benedict Cumberbatch's character is trying to kind of grapple with the fact that he doesn't really have his brother anymore because his brother now is dealing with having a family. And so because of that, there's this tension between Cumberbatch and Dunst's characters. And she's trying to fit in as much as she can, but he's like trying to kind of push them out. Slowly, he starts to kind of grow attached to her son, and this kind of relationship develops between the two of them. And the less you know about this film, the better. But again, gorgeous cinematography, something that I think there's a lot of things that are very understated, and a lot of the themes and story comes out just through visuals, not always the dialogue. And by the end, you think you're watching one film and it turns into something else. And like I said, this is the film that I've probably chewed on the most since watching, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Also on Netflix. Number 3 for me is The Green Knight from David Lowery.
That's so bad.
It's this was also one of my favorite theater experiences of the year. My brother was so excited to go see this movie. He was looking for this action-packed hack and slash, and instead it's this slow, methodical reflection on the difference between honor and legacy. And it's about the nephew of King Arthur who is trying to get honor. He just wants to be recognized. And so he ends up standing up to the Green Knight in the very beginning of the movie, which results in him needing to go and visit him 1 year later. And so the film follows his journey that following year. Again, gorgeous cinematography. The acting is stellar across the board. David Lowery's writing is fantastic. The direction is just absolutely fantastic. And again, this is one. What's funny is this is a film that in a lot of my favorite movies end up being where I walk out of the theater and I go, I'm not sure how I felt about that. I think I liked it a lot. But then as I kind of sit and churn and think through it, those things start to kind of piece together, and I find myself just coming back to that movie. It was that way with The Power of the Dog. It's that way with The Green Knight, and it's amazing. If you haven't seen it, which it sounds like a couple of you haven't, I highly recommend it. I'd say buckle up. It's slow, but it's really, really worth it. All right, number 2 is probably one that's I imagine this is gonna hit someone's list. And it's one that took me 2 viewings to fully piece together and fully grasp. This is a big blockbuster that a lot of people were looking forward to. And when I first saw it, I was like, yeah. And then I saw it a second time, and I was like, this might be the best movie of the entire year. And that is not Spider-Man No Way Home, it's Dune. Dune is I watched it the first time. I saw it in IMAX. Was like, this is really stunning to look at. I don't know how I care about these characters that much, and it was kind of hindering my relationship with the film. It just felt really cold. I didn't feel like there was a lot to kind of unpack between the interpersonal relationships between the characters, and so I kind of found them somewhat distant from each other. On second viewing, I think I was so overcome the first time by what I was seeing, and Denis Villeneuve is he just doesn't miss. I mean, the guy just Blade Runner 2049, Prisoners, Enemy. I'm already missing some Sicario. I mean, the guy is just Arrival. I mean, doesn't miss.
Arrival, yeah.
Pound for pound, he may be our best working director right now of the last 10 years. I said it. But Dune, second time around, loved everything that I saw. The relationships worked a lot better for me because I kind of understood them already. The mother-daughter between Rebecca Ferguson and Timothée Chalamet was I really liked that there is distance there, and that coldness that I felt was real, but that's also kind of intended. And I thought that was really, really, really smart. I've also not read the book, so I didn't know what to expect going in. So I think I was just trying to digest this enormous story. So yeah, Dune's my number 2. Number 1, this is the one that I could catch heat for, either from some of y'all or in the comments. And that's Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, yep.
And how to say this? Matrix Resurrections was a movie that was one of my most anticipated movies. So every year on Cinemass Podcast, we do the most anticipated of the year. This was one of my most anticipated movies of 2021. And I went into it nervous. I love the first film, one of the greatest action movies ever made. And the second and third movies I enjoy very much. It's taken me a long time to kind of churn through what I like, what I dislike. They are messy films, but I really have grown to connect with them. Matrix Resurrections is another one of those movies where I walked out and said, I'm not sure how I felt about that. And as I started to sit and think about it and piece together what I saw, I realized that this is one that I love. This is the second best Matrix movie. And the reason that it's the best Matrix movie is because it's not trying to be another Matrix movie. It utilizes the Matrix. It utilizes all the pieces that but it does it in such a clever way. Lana Wachowski is a genius for, the background of this film is that Warner Brothers said, we're making a fourth Matrix movie with or without you. And Lily and Lana Wachowski basically had to say, all right, do we want to step in and take care of what we created, or do we want to just let them run with it? And so initially they said, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to be involved. And then when they realized it was going on with or without them, Lana jumped in, worked on the script, and it becomes a commentary about creating legacy sequels and why a fourth Matrix movie doesn't work and why it isn't necessary. So like its whole existence is to say we shouldn't even be here. And like the Matrix itself in the film becomes a commentary on Lego sequels. So the meta aspect is genius, but also I really loved how it moved the characters forward in different ways, but also treated itself almost as a way to kind of recontextualize some aspects of the first three films that, in my opinion, actually make them better and more richer films. It looks really good. There's some interesting use of bullet time, which in the beginning kind of had me like, I don't know if I like the visuals of this, but by the end, I was like, I love this style choice. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could gush for about all 5 of these movies for a long time, so I'll stop. But yeah, so those are my 5.
Nice.
Really great
Not bad.
choices, yeah. And I'm looking at the comments right now. I have to read. I have to read it. First off, can Tombstone be the movie of the year? It should be movie of the year every year. Hey, I'm a Tombstone fan, so I love that comment. Let's see. Watched Power of the Dog, loved it. Dune was good. I grew up on the original, and oh no way, not Matrix Resurrection. Bean was he was with you till number 1, and then we have another Dune was.
I'm sorry, movie. At that point we had to part.
Right, but it was a fun ride while that lasted, right?
Hey, if y'all want to take the blue pill and say that Matrix Resurrections is bad, I'll accept it. But if you want to join me with the red pill, I'm arms wide open.
Yeah, well, it's going to be so different because never seen a Matrix movie. So
what?
Yeah.
It's still bizarre, man.
What?
Like,
hey, okay, Matrix was still better than Dune, and I never even saw the Matrix.
Pause. Okay, pause. How have you not seen the Matrix?
Never seen it.
Just like by choice, or is it like at this point it's like
I don't know,
just flag in the sand, like I will never watch this? Or
wait, neither one
of us theaters.
Probably is just
neither one of us.
I never saw the appeal back then. It just didn't grab me like that. I mean, if somebody sat me down to watch them, sure, no problem. But I didn't do it, you know.
You guys have 4 to watch back to back.
Love Keanu Reeves, you know. It's just, man, and I still like it better than that new Dune movie. Like,
wow.
It didn't do it for me at all.
And you know,
wow.
I mean, for me, I tried watching Matrix this year, actually, the first one, and I fell asleep less than halfway through it. When I was younger, I worked at Suncoast, the movie motion picture company, and they had the Ultimate Matrix collection for Black Friday. It had every Matrix movie, Animatrix, everything.
And it had the little bust of Neo.
The little bust and the little case
in the plastic case.
Yeah. So they had it for $12 for Black Friday, and I bought it, and I kept it for years unopened, and I never watched it. And then I don't know what I did with it. I sold it or gave it away or something. But I had intentions to watch it because of Keanu Reeves. And I heard such great things about it. It just never happened.
So I'll say this. It's on HBO Max right now in 4K, and I am now rewatch. So I rewatched all 3 movies before I went and saw it. I've seen it twice now, and I'm now rewatching all 3 movies again. So, and they look amazing in 4K. So if you want to watch it, all 4 movies are on HBO Max in 4K. They're gorgeous.
So now, given your choices, I have to go with who I think is going to be the polar opposite. So, Jason, can you give us your top 5? Start with number 5.
See, I'm a simple guy. I'm a real simple guy. But, you know, okay. My number 5 is going to be the Shang-Chi movie. Was it the 10 Rings?
Yeah.
Great movie. You know, we get a different kind of superhero. Action sequences were great. Aquafina was awesome. To me, she made that movie like that girl. I love that girl, you know. But all in all, a good storyline. Great movie. A new, different kind of, like, it was like kind of like Black Panther. Like, you get a different kind of Marvel movie, and it really wowed me, you know. Like, not your typical superhero flick. And number four, I'm going to say is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Afterlife. That one was pretty up there for me, you know. Like, I'm a nostalgia geek, you know. And once those old Ghostbusters came on the screen, I was like, screaming. And I screamed even more high pitched once you see the Egon Spengler ghost. I'm like, wow. And that was such a great tribute to him, you know, to the late Harold Ramis.
Oh
And I
yeah,
like
he
how
was
they kept the
fantastic.
Stay Puffs as part of like the nostalgia, and Zool with that 80s flat top. Was it not Sinead O'Connor? The 80s rock chick kind of
Oh
hairstyle.
yeah, yeah,
The nostalgia vibes were firing on all
That was
cylinders.
Olivia Wilde, right?
Yes,
yeah. It
yes.
was.
Yeah, it looked like her.
Yeah. That movie was wild, all right.
Yeah,
But awesome movie. Like, and that one's pretty up there for me. Like I was bouncing around with a few. But number three is the Jungle Cruise. Because I mean, I feel like they've given us a Pirates of the Caribbean type. Like that one could go into a couple of series. And being a fan of the ride, like I mean, I was going to see it regardless. It's Disney and it's The Rock, you know, like what's not to love. But Jungle Cruise was always one of my favorite rides as a kid. You know, it was like one of the first rides
oh
I
yeah, it's a
went on in
classic.
Disneyland. As yeah, exactly. And I thought the animals were real back then, you know. And then like you get older and you get a smart ass tour guide, and he's like, "Oh, we're lucky that tiger's bolted down." I'm like, "Wow." If I was a kid and I heard you say that, like what a douchebag, you know. But then we get this movie based off of it, and they worked it in really well because he's still giving the tours and everything. But then you get the Aguirre and all those undead conquistadors, and that's what brought the whole Pirates of the Caribbean feel to me. And it just and the Metallica score, like that just made
That
that
was
movie
really
right
cool.
there. Like wow. Like once you hear that at the beginning, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. Just a score can make or break a movie as well, you know, like the music to me is just as important in the movie, and that just because I don't know if you guys ever seen Birdman, that music was just
Oh yeah.
awful in there. That was horrendous as
Yeah.
shit. And like it makes a movie like, but you put a Metallica score like that in there and that take on it, it's like wow. And then you just combine it all. That was a good number three for me, Jungle
It
Cruise.
is.
And I hope we
I was
do
about to
see
say,
more.
oh, I love the score in Birdman.
Doesn't surprise me.
Very
Sorry.
different
that's
views.
Talk about polar opposites.
That's
And
exactly.
that's fine.
That's
Hey, it's
okay.
good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
All
that's
right,
why y'all
keep on
had me
going,
on
dudes.
here. Y'all could beat me up. I got it.
Usually we beat up Kevin, so that's great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
We found a new Kevin.
All right.
Let's see.
All
So
right, what's next?
that was number three for me, right?
Three.
And number two, a lot of people are probably going to
Yeah.
disagree with me, but my number two was Suicide Squad.
Hey, there you
I just
go.
Yeah.
freaking love that movie. You know, like it
Yeah,
was
that was
done.
great.
Yeah, it's a big freaking starfish and is
So
very
cool.
comic accurate. And like
It
you
is.
get Polka Dot Man and what's it, John Cena playing Peacemaker, like who I thought
Yeah.
nailed it. You know, I was so glad he killed General
Rick
General
Flag?
Flag with a piece of the
Oh
toilet.
yeah, me
I'm
too.
like, this was badass, like that fight. But the part that made it the most for me was like when Polka Dot Man's like, I see her, and they're aware everywhere. And then all of
His
them were
mom's-
like his mom, you know? Like that's and when he's picturing like the giant Starro, all of a sudden he pictures his mom tearing apart the city. I'm like,
That was
you gotta be
great.
shitting me.
It was a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, it was
like you
just this
said,
over the top, like really over the top with the gore and the violence, and
and the starfish.
Stallone as King Shark just totally did it, you know, like sure, bird, you
Yeah,
know.
that
That's a
was
great
that was quite a
choice.
James Gunn film.
Very
Oh
James
yeah,
Gunn.
Yeah.
he nailed it. And Starro, and a lot of people, oh, the villain's just like a big state. But read the comics, assholes. I mean, like it's Starro,
He's
and
Starro.
they did him
Yeah.
very well in there, you know.
They did him
They
perfectly.
did.
Yeah.
Yes. And what you knew once you saw those astronauts with the little baby Starro, you knew what was going to happen. And then just once we got that big one, and when he like raises his armpit and all those little starfish come out, like it's making that noise. I'm like, oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think there was a girl that we were there for opening night, and there was a girl in there that like she was already pounding a few shots in there. And she threw up at the end of the movie because that scene where Harley jumps into the eye.
Oh,
with that
really?
spear, like she was. I looked at her. I'm like, I'm glad I'm not sitting in front of her. And we seen her go out to the side exit, one of those like exits, and blah. Like, wow, I guess Starro got you too.
Dang.
Ralph.
But yeah, that Suicide Squad was good. That's a good number two for me. And number one for me was obviously Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like I'd been hyped all year for that one, and it did not disappoint. You put the best one, probably the best Spider-Man movie villain, period, in there, which is the Alfred Molina Dr. Octopus, then everything else just kind of comes together nice and well. And
Yeah.
just the three Spider-Mans, they each had their own moments and it just totally nailed it. But to me, it was just seeing all the different villains from all the different, universes on screen that totally did it for me. And they ended it in a nice way, left a lot of doors open like they should have. So, of course, Spider-Man was going to be number one.
There you go. No, I really appreciate your list. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to make Kevin wait because he's our entertainment editor. So we're going to save Kevin for last. So
Good.
I'm going to jump in and I'll do my top 5. It's going to be somewhat similar to Jason's in ways. No surprise there. But let me see. We do have some good comments. Shang-Chi snuck up on me as a great movie last year. So good. We got another Power of the Dog. And then Willem Dafoe brings back the Goblin, was the highlight of the movie. Yeah, Willem Dafoe was amazing. Agreed. All right. So if I could do like a top 10, I would be putting movies like Eternals would have popped up in there. And Suicide Squad would have popped up in there. But for top 5, we're starting with number 5. And number 5 for me is Nobody with Bob Odenkirk. And this was a movie that surprised me because, I watched it because it's Bob Odenkirk. It's Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad. And you got this just John Wick-esque, knockdown, drag-out film with some very gruesome scenes. But also, you had a real connection to the guy. And I don't know if it's just because who he is as an actor or just a well-written script, but it worked so well. And I loved that movie. I thought it was, right when I saw it, I knew it was going to be one of the best of the year. And for me, it lands at number 5. Number 4 is Marvel's Shang-Chi. It was just so enjoyable. Like Jason said, it was that different kind of Marvel movie. We got to have more humor in there. We got new faces in there. We got a really cool villain with the Mandarin cracking jokes on, one of my worst Marvel movies, Iron Man 3. So I loved that. Kevin, yeah, because I know how much he loves it. But
I like Iron Man 3.
I know you do.
I'm right there with you, Kevin. Let's get beat up together.
Thank you. Of course
But no, Shang-Chi was just so well done. I love that we have this new breed of hero coming in, and we saw it with Eternals too. We have this new breed of heroes starting to come in. Nothing wrong with Thor and Captain America and all that, but it's so cool to see new faces. So Shang-Chi gets my number 4. Number 3 is Jungle Cruise. It was probably the most fun I had at the theater. It's just such a fun film. The Rock just owns it. I loved the beginning where you had the corny kind of lines, just like they would have on the Jungle Cruise. It was perfect. I loved every bit of it. Even if there was no sequel coming, it didn't need it. It was perfect. But there are sequels coming, apparently.
Oh, they're making sequels?
They are. Yep, it already got greenlit.
More cruises. Let's go.
Absolutely. To me, it kind of fills the void of that. Indiana Jones, The Mummy, National Treasure. You don't really have that right now. Uncharted might even be part of that. We don't know. We'll find out. But for right now, it's filling that void. I loved it. I thought Emily Blunt and The Rock were amazing. Like Jason said, seeing the Conquistadors in there and the amazing soundtrack to it. It had to be. It was number 1 for a while for me, for the top 5. Number 2 is Kevin's favorite movie this year. And it's Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes.
I did not dislike Ghostbusters at all.
But he did. Jason already talked about Ghostbusters Afterlife. It is a nostalgia trip. But they had so many fresh elements going on in there. Paul Rudd's just Paul Rudd. And, anytime you have him on screen, he's a joy to watch. And I'm so glad they went the direction of not just like making him a Ghostbuster, like, give him a supporting role. It's fine. But we really saw the kids kind of take center stage on that. And then, of course, the tribute to Harold Ramis, which was amazing. So that movie stole the show for me. I absolutely loved it. I'll be buying the 4K one when it comes out. I'm ready for it. And
are you gonna
number
get
1,
that full set? You're gonna get that full set that's coming out?
Yeah, I think I will.
That's a big dog.
I don't think I have the other ones on there. I don't think I have the other. No, I don't have 4K on the other one, so I do. I need to get it. So There we go.
tempted.
Number 1 is going to be the same as Jason. It's Spider-Man: No Way Home.
No way.
We talked about Spider-Man in the last podcast, and I mean, Spider-Man and G.I. Joe Special Missions were my first comic books ever. So Spider-Man will always hold, a place in my heart right there.
Until
And
Special Missions comes out with the movie, right?
then forget about it. Yeah, you get G.I. Joe Special Missions and just wait. But it fired on all cylinders. You brought back all the Spider-Men. You brought back the villains in a great way. You made a movie that didn't feel long at all because you were just enjoying it all the way. To me, it's the second best Spider-Man movie of all time. It's the best movie of the year, and it is destroying the box office, and it's making Sony a hell of a lot of money right now. So I can be happier with this, new relationship with Sony and Marvel and working together on this. It can only mean something great for the fans. So as an audience member who went to see it, I'm just overjoyed by it. And I think my pick is probably a lot of people's picks, because it was a lot of fan service, but it was done right. So that is my top 5. Let's see. I see Jason Bean says he has problems giving superhero movies a spot on his top 10. I think a lot of people think that way, but if it connects to you, that's all that matters. Like that almost hits like the people that say like, well, you can't tell real stories in comic books.
Yes, you can.
Let me show you a list of real stories in comic books. So I agree. Some people like to they do see it. They do see it as its own genre. Like, oh, you're a superhero flick. But personally, to me, I'm like, no. Like you can watch it and it's just like, wow. Like Watchmen is not going to be in the same category as Spider-Man: No Way Home.
No, Watchmen's a kids movie.
It's just not a kids movie. But but we all have our own opinions, and I do appreciate everybody's opinion on that. But now I'm going to turn this over to our entertainment editor, Mr. Kevin Hoskinson. Let us know your top 5.
All right, Kevin, this better be good, man.
Thank you. So let's start with my bottom 5. All right, Ghostbusters.
Every Star Wars that ever existed.
What's that?
Every Star Wars that ever existed.
We'll keep The Last Jedi and get rid of everything else.
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. All right, so
I still want to boot you out right now.
Well, we can talk about Last Jedi if you guys want.
No, we can't. No. That's a whole other topic.
You want to? I got my rose Tico glass.
Brandon's
very
rose Tico glass. Can I see it?
Oh, he really does. Okay.
Can I break it now?
We'll do a special. We'll do a special Last Jedi one. I promise. Okay.
Hey, if you ever want,
we will.
If you ever want me, I got the poster right here on the wall.
I believe you.
So Kevin, go right ahead.
So I'm gonna cheat just a little bit, like Brandon did earlier, but I kind of already said, my number 6. This one was a really tough list to just pick 5. I was really kind of had it set for a while. And then I just kind of had to let a certain movie simmer a little bit to see if it was going to make my top 5 for the year. And it did. And it kicked this movie out of the top 5, which was Malignant. I love Malignant. Such an amazing movie. James Wan is incredible. And so that one would have been my number 5 if a certain movie hadn't come out later on in the year, which we'll get to. So let's start with actually number 5. So pretty much every movie on this list except for one, I was like pretty much surprised by. They just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to like them as much as I did. So the first one on my list was sitting down watching TV, decided to turn on Apple TV Plus and put on this movie called Coda, which means a child of deaf adults. This movie totally caught me off guard. I was not expecting to feel the emotions I did. I knew nothing about the movie at all. I had not seen a trailer. The only thing I had seen was the poster, on the Apple TV thing. And for some reason, it wasn't on my radar. And I watched it and I was just blown away by everything from the performances to just the sweetness of it all. It's a very sweet and touching, like uplifting movie, which is exactly, I think, what a lot of us were looking for this year. And it kind of fits that bill of just being just that kind of movie, the one that can just kind of make you feel all kinds of emotions, but in the end, it's just an uplifting experience. The story focuses on a teenage girl named Ruby. She's a coda. She's a children of deaf adults. Her whole family's deaf. She has, her parents and her brother. They run a fishing company, so they live in Massachusetts, and she's kind of their interpreter. She kind of runs everything. She's trying to balance that as well as high school and getting into college. She kind of realizes, she joins her school choir, and she realizes that she loves singing, and she is really good at it, like really good. And the teacher's like, hey, you should pursue this and go to this prestigious college in New York. But then that comes up the dilemma, because she's the only hearing person in her family. So she needs to help run the family business, but she also needs to chase her passion. Her parents can't hear her sing either. So she's kind of like, what's the point in doing something if your family can't enjoy it as well? They can't feel the passion from you. There's a scene at the end. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a scene at the end where she like signs how she feels about singing. And it's just probably one of the heart-wrenching. It got me right in the feels. And I was just like, this is incredible. And the whole cast is amazing. The mom and the dad and the brother are all played by deaf actors as well. So they bring a real sense of authenticity to it all. Some of the acting in this movie is just outstanding. Like there are these arguments that they have, not a single word being exchanged, but it's all there in the body. Everything about it is just there. It's on camera. It's in there. I just absolutely fell in love with that movie. And that's one of my favorites of the year for sure. It was really, really good. All the performances are great, and I'm hoping good things for it. So Coda's my number 5. Number 4 is a little tiny movie called Spider-Man No Way Home. That's the one that kind of pushed
I've heard of it.
Malignant out of the way. I loved it. Absolutely. It was outstanding in every way. Like we've talked about it at length, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but it's definitely probably one of the coolest movies I've seen this year. Like one of the most so again, I loved Ghostbusters. Okay. Let's not go there, but this movie did nostalgia and fan service the way that I wish Ghostbusters had, where it used it to propel the story forward a little bit more. It didn't. Okay, this is gonna catch me alive, but I don't.
Nolan's heated. He's like,
I know. I don't feel like in Ghostbusters. I feel like the movie would have it would have been the same if you hadn't seen the main guys, right? I feel like there isn't a part of that movie that if those guys didn't show up, you would be missing out on, if you know what I mean. Like you see pictures, photo albums, things like that, but I don't personally feel like there was a moment in there that you had to have those guys in the movie. Right?
The Spangler part probably, would be the biggest part.
Are you talking about Afterlife here?
Yes.
Both movies bring in people from the past. So
right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was talking about Afterlife.
Okay, yes.
Was I talking about? Okay, sorry.
I don't know. I was trying to figure it out.
I'm so sorry.
You didn't need those guys.
You didn't need Toby?
Okay, I want to jump in because this was all right. I watched Afterlife today because I knew Nolan, you had mentioned that you love this movie, and I was like, I want to be able to talk about it. And I actually really liked it up until the last 30, 40 minutes when it started to just kind of retread the first film, where all the Gozer stuff was kind of just the same beats from the first movie that I already knew. I already knew general direction of where we were going to go. And then, but having the 3 come back, I agree with you. It didn't add anything to it. In fact, I felt like it took away from the new characters. That we have this great moment where she's standing up to Gozer, which I think is that, she's standing up to Gozer, and then she gets helped by Spangler, which I think alone would have been cool. But then the other 3 coming in kind of, I think, robs the rest of the group from some of their like power in that final scene. Personally, my thoughts.
No, and that was kind of my thing too. So like, but like Ghost or not Ghostbusters, No Way Home kind of did the opposite, where I felt like their characters were essential to helping Tom overcome his grief and his
Right.
loss, and to not go down this other path, things like that. So that's just how I feel about both of them. I love Ghostbusters. Don't get me wrong, I really did. It will be bought and it will be displayed proudly in my DVD collection. But yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home was my number 4.
So you
Um,
loved Spider-Man No Way Home like you loved your fourth favorite kid.
yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yep. It's
What
my
the
worst,
hell?
my fourth favorite child. So my number 3. Now my number 3 has a
I
very
can't wait to see
cool-
what the top 3 are.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
My number 3, again, it's a Netflix movie, or actually it went on Netflix. Due to the pandemic, I think it was supposed to have a theatrical release. It's an animated movie, but it's just so funny, so charming. It had so many cool elements to it. The soundtrack, the score, the animation itself was beautiful. And that's The Mitchells versus the Machines, which
Such a
I
good movie.
absolutely adore that movie. I think isn't it? It's
I took this off my list. I cheated and I got with Kevin and I was like, all right, what is this on your list? And he was like, yep. And I was like, all right, I'm taking it off because I want to let it be yours.
yeah.
This movie's so good.
Mitchell's versus the Machines. Yeah, it's excellent. There's not, the young girl, Katie, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was her name, Katie. She's, I kind of, felt a lot of her in me when I was a teenager too. Just that excitement of like, I wanted to go to film school. Like everything about her was relatable to me. Having the family dynamic, it was just so funny. And the whole like the dog pig loaf of bread thing just killed me absolutely. Like when that was like their defense to kill the robots. Like that was just genius. And
Their ugly dog.
the ugly dog was incredible. Everything about that movie was great. Again, I don't know, I feel like it's a Sony Animation's doing some really, really cool, interesting stuff right now with Into the Spider-Verse and, this. And I hope they kind of keep on pushing the boundaries and pushing the limits of what they can do with their technology. And
I think that more than
I-
anything, though, it's Chris Lord and
yeah,
Phil
Miller.
Lord and Chris Miller who
Yeah.
are just so forward thinking.
Yeah, exactly. That was gonna be my
Yeah.
next thing. Yeah, those guys are absolutely genius, and I hope they just stay with Sony and just keep on doing what they're doing. And it's so Mitchell's and the Machines, my number 3. Mitchell's
What a
versus
great
the
choice.
That's such a
Machines.
good choice.
Yeah,
That is
it's a
yeah.
great
Thank you
movie.
for choosing that. It was such a good movie, man. I'm
Yeah,
so
it
glad
was
that
great.
it's getting recognition.
And I'm a sucker for any movie that there's a band called Sugar Rose. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, but they had 2 of their
Never.
songs playing towards the end of the movie, towards the credits.
I think you mean Sugar Ray.
What's that?
I know Sugar Ray. Yeah, okay.
No,
yeah.
no.
That's
no.
what he meant.
Not Sugar
Oh,
Ray.
I got you.
Not
He
Sugar
just wants
Ray.
to fly.
As for Rebecca knows who they are.
Flies,
Rebecca
fly.
likes them. We've talked about it. So yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2 Netflix movie. It's a musical. It was directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda in his directorial debut. It's kind of this whole story with his connection to the project and everything from the beginning, but the number 1 performance by Andrew Garfield this year, Tick Tick Boom. I think Tick Tick Boom is probably one of the most it's just a really, really well done musical. Like I said, Lin-Manuel Miranda's feature film directing debut. He does a great job. He has anyone who knows me knows I'm a theater nerd. I like theater. I like musicals. Rent is my all-time favorite musical of all time. Not necessarily the movie, but the Broadway show. This film is about the creator of Rent, Jonathan Larson. Not necessarily about the creation of the show, but kind of his struggles getting to that point. He was a struggling artist in New York. He he wasn't doing very well. He had a play that was going to be taken off, but some people liked it. Steven Sondheim kind of called him up and was like, hey, you're really good, but maybe we should try something a little bit different. And that kind of inspired him to kind of do something bigger. But the whole film is a kind of his struggle between, he has the opportunity to kind of find a real job. Like he can find a real job. He can go do a million other things, but he chooses to, he's a struggling artist. Like, his art is his number one priority. So he focuses on his art, and in his path is his, best friend. He moves out. His girlfriend is basically about to dump him. And it just kind of becomes this web of, kind of like the basic tortured artist thing. He works as a waiter at a restaurant and stuff. He unfortunately, so Lin-Manuel Miranda's connection to the show, which I think is very interesting. He saw Rent when it first came out in the 90s. He was 15 years old. Rent inspired him to write musicals. So Rent inspired him to write Hamilton. Rent inspired him to do all these other things. He was even in a Broadway production of Tick, Tick, Boom as Jonathan Larson, like back early in his career. So it's kind of interesting to see him come full circle and direct the movie about the guy who inspired him to become a writer in the first place. And I just think that really kind of comes through in the movie. Andrew Garfield is just outstanding. I had no idea the dude could sing. Like, he has amazing vocals. Everyone in that cast is just incredible. Vanessa Hudgens is in it. She has a small role, but she's amazing. It's just such an incredible movie, and I absolutely loved it. So that's my number 2. I see Rebecca's the comment here real quick about West Side Story. I dug West Side Story. I think if you like musicals and if you like the original, you'll like this one. Have any of you guys seen West Side Story?
It is one I had to sacrifice in order to see some other. Nolan saw it.
It's one I sacrificed, but I had to see
you're
it.
in the same boat.
No, mine was more of a sacrifice, as in I had to see it.
Oh, jeez. I still need to see it.
Sunday Night Football.
No, I dug it. I thought it was good. I thought Steven Spielberg, I mean, you can't go wrong with that pedigree. I'm still kind of stunned that it's Steven Spielberg's first musical. I know it's not something we think of Steven Spielberg and musicals together, but for some reason, I would think they snuck something in there. I know he had elements of it, and like,
he got his Temple of Doom, and everything goes.
Even 1941, there was a whole kind of, some kind of musical stuff in it. But yeah,
that's your number 18 on the list, huh?
That's my number 18. Yeah. So my number one movie this year, Nolan just watched it, and I know Brandon's seen it, and I'm not sure if you've seen it, Jason, but my number one movie of the year is Pig. I absolutely love Pig. Pig is such a beautiful, moving, meditative, just has all these really wonderful elements in it. Now, it's uplifting towards, at the end, when it's not uplifting throughout the movie, but, of course, when things kind of settle down and the dust settles, you could take some solace in what happened and, apply some of it to your own life. It's about overcoming stuff like, grief and loss and where to go after you've hit a certain point. Right. I think so. Nicolas Cage, plays a truffle pig, farmer. He has a pig that goes out and finds truffles. He lives in the woods out here in Oregon. One day his pig goes missing, and he has to go. He goes into the Portland, the city, and kind of goes on this adventure through the night. Of this weird culinary underworld of Portland, which I think is really cool.
That's cool to see.
Yeah, it's very cool to see. And listen, I know we've kind of come to a point in Nicolas Cage's career where it seems like he's almost, I hate to use this term, but it seems like he's almost parodying himself at points. He's in on the joke. He knows what's going on.
We're in a Nick Cage renaissance.
We're
back.
We're back. And this movie just really cemented, like, it makes us remember why he won an Oscar, back in the 90s. He is an incredible actor, and he's just outstanding in it. The whole cast is great. And again, it's this really quiet, meditative kind of journey of self-discovery and figuring out what to do with your life after that. The kid, he kind of, that helps him out. I'm blanking on the name right now, and I'm going to hate myself for blanking on the name. But
it's Wolf.
Wolf, yes.
Nat Wolf. He's got a twin brother. I can't remember.
I think it's Nat Wolf. Yeah,
from Hereditary.
No, it's Alex. I think this is Alex, isn't it? He was an
There it
old,
is.
right? Yeah. This Alex Wolff is outstanding. He's just this new, up and coming kind of truffle guy who kind of deals with Nicolas Cage's character to sell the truffles to fancy restaurants in Portland. Um, there's a whole drama between him and his dad. I don't want to get into that too much, spoil any of that, but he's outstanding. Him and Nicolas Cage together are great. It's got some, it's got some heartbreaking moments. It's got some funny moments. It's got some, just some brutally honest moments, but the trailers and everything make it out to look like it's going to be like this John Wick kind of revenge thriller, but it completely subverts that and turns it into something completely different.
So good.
It's amazing. It's incredible. And I'm also a sucker for movies that have, I don't know if you guys ever appealed, attracted to a movie because of the aesthetic of it. It's just got this really good feel to it. It's kind of a comfort kind of thing to it. I don't know if it's because I live in the Pacific Northwest or not, but it captured that perfectly. Like in the woods, like when you're going hiking at, 8:00 in the morning, that's what it's like. It's like just this really beautiful, they captured the moss and everything. They captured how it feels, the dampness, all of it was great. So Pig, my number one. I recently just watched it too. I watched it again this weekend, and it blows me away every time. And it's only it's only an hour and a half. It's not very long. It's the perfect length. It doesn't have any fat on it. It just gets to it, just kind of moves at a pace, and just it works completely.
An apt metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen Pig, I mean, it's almost like if you take like Gotham City's underworld and just replace it with chefs and waiters,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
instead of drugs, people are moving ingredients.
Yeah.
Like it sounds so corny if you just talk about it that way, but when you're watching it, it feels super authentic and it feels very tangible.
It does.
I mean, without spoiling anything, there is an underground fight club that goes on at one point.
Dude.
And when you find out who's fighting who, I was like, this movie rules, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. And yeah, Nick Cage's performance, I was like, boom, that is it. That is so good. And I want more revenge movies, quote unquote revenge movies, from Nick Cage. He was in Mandy a few years ago, which is so good if you haven't seen that.
Which one was it?
Mandy.
Oh, Mandy's incredible.
Yeah, Mandy is a freaking roller coaster.
We need to have a Nicolas Cage episode, man. There's so much. Color Out of Space was freaking.
First, it's got to be the Last Jedi one.
What a performance!
Dude, I love
Color Out of Space. Reminded me a lot of his performance in Mom and Dad. Have you seen Mom and Dad?
Dude, Mom and Dad, yeah.
I think Mom and Dad was the first time where we collectively said, "Oh wait, we just need to channel this crazy Nick Cage stuff into something."
Exactly.
So yeah, Mom and Dad is wild. If you haven't seen that,
Mom and Dad is fantastic. Yeah.
All right. Well, I like your list, Kevin, and I really liked your number one. I think that's an awesome pick. And thank you to everybody, who's put their list today, and also who's
Pig is on Hulu. I think
it is on Hulu.
I see
that's where I saw it.
Thing down here. Yeah, Pig's on Hulu. Check it out. You are not going to be disappointed.
Nope.
Also, I see someone. I actually like that movie he was in where he fought demonic animatronics. Wally's Wonderland. That was another wild one, man.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us today as we talked about the best of 2021. Keep leaving your comments. You have until Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll pick one winner to win a Pastrami Nation combo from Apollo Burger. So that's going to be fun. And as always, visit Pastrami Nation for news, reviews, and more. We always have new stuff popping up. And, of course, Brendan, if you can let people know where to find the Cinemass podcast.
Yeah. So I host the Cinemass podcast. We got some new episodes that we're going to start pumping out here soon. We took a bit of a break. I was shooting my short film, so we kind of slowed down. But now we're back in 2022. You can find us Spotify, Google, anywhere you find your podcast, you can find the Cinemass podcast. We kind of pick a movie or a theme every week, and then we kind of either do our top 10, we have our top 10 Nolan films. We have an episode, we do something we call movie virgins. where someone who's never seen a popular film, like Nolan never seeing The Matrix, Nolan and Jason never seen The Matrix, that would be a fun one.
That would be.
Where we talk for about 10 minutes before the person sees the movie, and then we watch it, and then we get right back right after and talk through the movie. And it's super fun watching someone watch a kind of iconic movie. We have one where my brother watches Seven for the first time.
I remember
that was
there
rad.
you go.
So yeah, we do all sorts of fun stuff about movies. Yeah, we just love movies on the Cinemass podcast. So if you love movies, I'd say check us out.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right, everyone, make sure you
Definitely.
check that out. And I want to thank Jason, Kevin, and Brandon for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Our first podcast of 2022.
Anytime.
2021 was a blast. And I look forward to what everything we do moving forward for Pastrami Nation in collaboration with Cinemass Podcast, everything we can do to just enjoy this year. So thank you again, everybody. And we will see you in 2 weeks. All right. Take care.